Hello, how are you? My name is Rob, and I'd like to welcome you to this Zoom meeting. Here is a session overview. You can see we're going to be talking about number 1, Zoom, number 2, an introduction to the course, and number 3, a reflection. These are the session outcomes. This is an introduction to Zoom. If you have never used Zoom, don't worry. I'll explain some basic features. So don't worry if you aren't confident in using Zoom, it will come. In Zoom, touch the screen anywhere to see this bar. As you can see, sometimes things appear in French in blue. So touch the screen anywhere to see this bar. And if you see call over the internet, here in the corner, touch the message. All right, let's talk about some basic Zoom features and try using Zoom now. Here's a checklist of things we can do with Zoom. You can join a meeting, connect to audio, and so forth. These are the things I'll be talking about with you. When the microphone is off, you'll see a red bar through the microphone symbol. It's down at the bottom of your tablet. Most of the time, your microphone will be off so that you can hear me and we won't be disturbed by background noise. If you want to talk, you can click unmute and speak, and then click mute for silence again. So when you finish talking, you put your finger on the microphone symbol and you'll see a red line through the microphone. The video is off. To turn the video on, you click Start Video under the video icon. It's best to leave your video off so that you have more bandwidth for the session. It might affect the audio if you have the video on. Now on your screen, you can touch participants to see everyone in the meeting. If you find the participant with me, that's you. Okay, so you found yourself, and now, touch your name, and you'll see a drop-down box with the word rename. Touch rename, and then you can type in a new screen name, your name. So maybe before it said Lenovo tablet. You touch your name, touch rename, and type your name. Or maybe you want to change the name that's in the chat, in the participants, excuse me. All right? After you type your name, touch OK. And can you see your name now? Very good. Now, if you look on your screen, you will see 3 dots and the word more, or plus in French. If you touch those 3 dots, there's a menu with emoticons or emojis. You see that? Now, on this menu, if you touch raise hand, a blue hand symbol comes up. Try it. Touch raise hand and see the blue hand symbol. Now, touch lower hand and the blue hand symbol should disappear. So again, more, raise hand, lower hand. Good. In the chat, when you touch more, you'll also see chat. In the chat, you can see a list of people in the meeting. And if you want to talk to someone in the meeting, you touch the name of the person, or you touch everyone. Everyone means you communicate with all the people in the meeting, or you can touch one person, and when you touch that person's name, you'll communicate with that person only. So you have a choice. Communicate in the chat with one person or with everyone. Chatting to one person means you will see their name and you type a message. Here's a message to Andrew Foster that says, "Hello, Andrew." If you send a message to everyone, every participant will read your message. Here's a message sent to everyone that says, "Hello, everyone." So you can send a message to one person or to everyone. Normally, you could type a message into the chat box and send it to someone or the group. If you want to, you can practice now, type a message in the chat box. You're the only person in the meeting, you're watching this recording, but you could still practice that way if you want to. Okay, you can also touch participants And when you do that, you will see the people in the meeting. Now, in this meeting, there's just you, but in sessions with your peers, with other teachers, and with a trainer, you'll see the name of the trainer, the name of the other teachers, and your name when you touch participants. And also, when you touch participants, you'll see a list of symbols, the raise hand symbol, the green circle with a white tick mark, the red circle with an X, and other symbols that are useful for taking polls when the trainer asks a question. If you think the answer is yes, or if your opinion is yes, you can tap on the green circle with the white tick mark. If you think no, or the answer is no, you can touch the red circle with the white X. Also, at the end of the meeting, not now, but when the meeting is over, when it's finished, a message will appear that says leave, and you can tap on leave, and then a bigger red button saying leave meeting will appear, and you touch that to leave the meeting. So there are two steps. When the meeting is finished, you tap leave, and then a bigger red button appears, leave meeting, and you tap that, and then you're out of the meeting. Now let's move on to an introduction to the course. Okay, so in this course, you'll have before each session a pre-session task, which is in your booklet. You have a booklet, and in that booklet, there's a pre-session task to do before the session. And then during the session, you'll use the chat box. We talked about the chat box. And that's a way to communicate with other teachers, with your trainer, and also to reflect. You can also ask to speak if you are comfortable speaking. Remember, you can raise the blue hand, lower the blue hand to let your trainer know you'd like to speak, because your microphone is usually muted. Remember, the red X through the microphone. So when you unmute, everyone can hear you. So sometimes it's a good idea to raise the blue hand, and then your trainer will call your name and you can say something to the group. And after each session, there is a follow-up and reflection tasks, again, in your booklet. And you'll be sent links to recorded sessions later, if appropriate. So there's a before session task, then during the session, and after the session, there's usually a follow-up or reflection task. That's the main structure of the sessions. In the pre-session task, you'll see something that looks like this. And you'll notice that the word learners is used rather than students or pupils. Why do you think that is, that the word learners is used? The word learners is used because we like to think of the children that you work with as learning and focus on how to help them learn, how to facilitate their learning, more than on what we're going to do as teachers and what we're going to do on the board, etc. To think about us as teachers is important, but we want to focus on the learners, on the children that we work with, and how to help them learn. because it's all about learning in the end, right? So have you done the pre-session task? That's important. And then a follow-up task as well. Here's one. It's a fill in the gap with the correct word. Let's see what you remember about Zoom. These are 5 fill in the gaps. Number 1 says you need the meeting link or meeting ID and passcode to blank the meeting. What goes in that gap? Number 2, you cannot speak when the microphone is on. On. 3 letters missing with a T in it. Number 3, you can type messages to the trainer and your colleagues in the, remember the box? 4, to open chat, you touch where the 3 dots and the word is. What's that word? And number 5, you can touch hand if you want to ask a question. Hand if you want to ask a question. Have you thought about those? You don't need to write the entire sentences. You don't need to write at all. You can just think of the answers. All right. So you also have a reflection journal to complete at the end of each day during the week. For session 1, introducing the course, you're asked which sessions you're most interested in and why, which you think will be the most relevant in your context, which sessions can you use in your classrooms with your learners, and is there anything about the course which you're worried about, something that makes you a little nervous or anxious or perplexed? You're thinking about it a lot, wondering. Is there anything you can do so you don't feel worried? Can you talk to another teacher, talk to a friend, talk to someone who has completed the course, or anyone else who can help you with your questions, your doubts, your anxieties? It's a good idea. Try to do these tasks and reflections daily because it's going to help you complete the course. And you'll gain a deeper, more meaningful understanding that way. This is the course session overview. Okay, so you can see what happens on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. Good. Teaching for Success in Tunisia. Here are the sessions. So there's session 2, creating a safe, friendly, and inclusive primary classroom. And then comes session 3, which is about making the teaching we do learner focused. We have session 4, which is using songs, chants, and rhymes to increase learning in the primary classroom. Session 5, managing the classroom, classroom management, very important seating arrangement, things like that. Using games. Maybe you already have some ideas of games that you like to use in your classroom. You might learn some new games from your peers, from the other teachers, or from your trainer. Session 7, presenting language to primary learners, how we present vocabulary, grammar, things like that, different ways to do that. You might know flashcards. You might know writing words up on the board. There are many other ways to present language. Session 8, instructions, the importance of checking instructions to make sure that the learners have understood and know what to do, so we don't just send them out and then have everyone asking what to do in the middle of an activity. Teaching a mixed ability primary classroom. Every classroom is mixed ability, really, and it's something that a lot of teachers struggle with. So this gives you some tools and strategies to deal with that, what some people call differentiation. Session 10, presenting group work and trainer feedback. Very important how we do those things to get the most out of group work. So it's not just people working together, but there's actually feedback and collaboration that the groups practice some 21st century skills. Do you have any questions so far? If you do, you could write them down. You could ask another teacher. You could send them to someone you know on the course and have those answered. Don't be afraid to ask any questions you have. Questions are good. Now it's time for our reflection. Remember, the final part of every session is a reflection. In this reflection, we're going to try to remember the different parts of the session. And the first part, of course, was introducing the course. Second, creating a safe, friendly, and primary classroom. Sorry, these are the different parts of the course that we just introduced. Do you remember 3, making your primary teaching focused, that important word that's used throughout the course? Not student, not pupil, but using chants and rhymes to increase learning in the primary classroom, something I'm sure you use already. 5, blank your primary classes, classroom management and your primary classes. 6, using to increase learning in the primary classroom, something that you probably use already. You might know fly swatter, for example. Presenting to primary learners. What are the learners learning? Are they learning math, science? No, they're learning, in this case. 8, giving and checking in the primary classroom, something the teacher delivers often to help the students know what they need to do with a particular task or activity. 9, teaching ability primary classroom, differentiation. The learners have different abilities. And 10, presenting and trainer feedback. That was the last one we saw. Those are the answers. Is that what you were thinking? What you remembered? Take your time to read that. Okay. These are some tips for live sessions. When you're in a session, this is some advice, some information to help you be more successful in the session. You can see number 1 says, charge your tablet. After the live session, charge your tablet so you're ready for the next session. Charge your tablet after each session. And number 2, sit in a quiet place. This is important. If you can find a quiet place or use some headphones, it's going to help you a lot. If you have a lot of background noise or if you can't concentrate, it's going to affect your participation in the session. It might not be possible to have 100% quiet space, but try to find a place that's relatively quiet where you can focus, concentrate, and participate. Use a headset. I just mentioned headphones. That will help you hear and communicate with the other participants. Log into the Zoom 5 minutes before the session starts so you're prepared. Number 5, check your connection and audio before. Also, make sure the sound quality is good. Make sure that the video is good. Even though you might have your video off, remember, you can touch and turn the video off. It's still a good idea to do that before the session. Have a notebook and a pen ready. So you want to have a notebook and a pen so you can take some notes or do activities. 7, if your connection is not strong, close other programs and websites. Maybe you have your web browser open. Maybe you have Microsoft Word open or Excel. Close those to improve the connection that you have. Keep the video off. I just mentioned keep the video off so the connection is faster and you have a better quality connection. Keep the audio muted. Remember the microphone, touch the microphone and it will be muted with the red line through it. And if your trainer asks you to unmute, then you can touch it again to speak. And finally, number 10, be prepared for the session by doing the pre-session task. We talked about the importance of doing the pre-session task. If you do the task before, you will get more from the session. You'll have a better session. Okay. Can you touch on the thumbs up emoji? You remember where that is? Can you join a Zoom meeting? Unmute and mute the audio. Raise and lower your hand. Put your hand up, put your hand down. Yes. Can you add your name to the Zoom meeting? And can you type a message in the chat box? Yes? Good. So how do you feel now? Maybe you have some questions, some doubts. Maybe you feel confident about some things. It's all very normal. I'd like to finally thank you for your participation today. I wish you all the best on the course. You're going to do great. Don't forget to reach out if you have questions and do the pre-session tasks as well so you get more out of the course. Good luck to you. Thank you for watching this video. Take care. Bye-bye.